Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support. So I've had a couple of days off just rearranging things. Still got loads more to do, but for now that I am happy with what I've done so far. Not that you'll get to see it, but it just means that I can work in a tidier space. So I'm coming back today with the last of the Christmas Blockbuster kits, which is the Contemporary Christmas. So I am going to do 2 days with cards on these, and I picked this Sensational snow globe. So I haven't seen many cards made with this through the channels and things, so I thought I'd have a little play with this one. Okay, so I'm going to start. So I bought one of the 6x12 card stock from Crafters Companion. So this is their 6x12 packs that they do. So coming to the end of this now. I'm going to be a bit sad when that's gone, because it's perfect for those 6x6 cards. And I'm just going to score this at the 6-inch mark and just give that a little fold over. And then if I open this up again, and then I'm going to score at 3 inches. So I'm going to make an easel card for the first one. So I thought, it's been a while, and it's a proper easel as well with a full size. So again, a little bit different for me. Haven't done it for a while, so it's always good to do that. And that's going to sit like so. And I've already pre-cut another piece of 6x6, and I'm simply going to stick that onto there. Okay, so for this I'm going to use the Collal all-purpose glue, and just going to pop some glue on just on this half. And it's easier to glue this side rather than try and get it in the right place on here. And then this just goes on straight on top. And obviously with that all-purpose glue, you just get that bit of a chance to make sure you've got that in the right place. So, and then obviously when that stands up, we've got, I'll show you from that side angle, so that sort of angle. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to set while I work on some layers. So I'm going to be using the Miri Card Special, the Diamond Sparkles, I think it's called. Yeah, Rainbow Sparkles. And I know they did show this the other day. They had this back in stock. So, you know, if you're looking for some, they have it. And I need to do 2 layers that are 2 notches under the 6. And am I going to get to 2 notches into the 6? That's going to be just a tiny bit small. So we'll use that on the next card. That's not a problem. Let's grab that one. And again, 2 notches under the 6. And 2 notches under the 6. If you want to, you can gut them. This is slightly thinner, and my base card is quite thin, so I'm not going to. So from the insert pack, I've taken an insert, I've just sort of centered it up, and I'm going to cut that. I've cut that to, oh, I've cut that wrong, look, see, that needs to be cut to 4 notches under the 6, so I'll do that in a second. And then I'm going to take this one, which is the foiled cardstock, and I'm going to cut this to 4 notches under the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 6. And I've chosen to do it this way because I want to keep this in like the snowflakes are falling down. Okay, and I've just trimmed this down to the correct size, which is 4 notches under the 6 square. And I forgot to say, the reason why I did this beforehand is because I cut it on my guillotine. So with my trimmer, I find that the blade tends to rip the paper. So I'm not sure whether it's the actual trimmer's better for card, or whether it just doesn't like this hunky-dory paper. So, but the guillotine works perfect for that. Okay, so let's bring back in my card. And I'm going to assemble the base part first of all. So I decided to use the insert so that we can sort of make the most of our cardstock, the printed and the foiled. I'm just going to pop some of this glue. Now just be careful, because you know I'm going to say it, it is an alcohol based glue, and it doesn't really like finishes. It takes finishes off things. So like this mirror card, if it smudges out of the sides, you may find that it takes the mirror off. So just be careful with that. So I'm just giving that a good press down, just making sure that that's not moving. And that's where I want it to be. Okay. So then again for this one, no special treatments, no embossing. I'm just using it as it is, straight onto straight on. So you could emboss it, you could put a ribbon across here, you know, there's loads of ways you could even enhance this even further. But the beauty of a Hunkydory kit is that you don't have to. I mean, it comes absolutely stunning, so you know, you can either just pick it up and work with it like I'm doing today, or you can, you know, put as much or as little into it as you want really. So I'm just making sure that's not moved. Okay, so that's how it's looking at the moment. Let me tilt that up so that you can see. So let's bring in our toppers. And I thought for this one I was probably going to use the biggest one, and we're quite lucky with this set because we've got 4 decent sized toppers, so plenty to play with on this one. And I also wanted the scent with Christmas sparkle, I think. So let's just ease that one out. And just be careful, if it's a little tight, don't force it. You don't want to rip that holographic, because obviously where the pip is where the holographic is. We don't want that to rip. So again, we've got a frame here, so let's just pop that one out, and it's just the one frame on this one. I say just the one, but it's designed so that it looks like it's more than one, so that's perfect. And I'm going to go 2 layers on this, so sort of 2 different heights. I want the just grabbing these ones as well. So I'm going to go 1mm on the frame, and I'm going to go probably 2mm. Might even change my mind and go to Crafter's Companion 5mm, but we'll see. So just popping these little foam pads all the way around. So the beauty of having a tidy up in your craft room is that you find things. The downside of tidying up your craft room is that you find things, you know, sort of things you didn't know you had. Sometimes we're all so busy buying the latest thing and playing with the latest thing that you forget what you've already got, you know. So it's always worth having a tidy up now and then. I'm not a tidy crafter. I work better in a little bit of chaos, I have to be honest. My desk, you know, my desk area is usually tidy, but I'm not great at putting things back where they belong, and I'm not great at organising them into a cohesive arrangement so that I can find it first time every time. I bought well, for my birthday I got a labeler, and I started labelling things, and to be fair, where I've labelled things I have kept to it, you know. So this is just tacky glue as always, just on the back of these pads, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room time, and also just adds a bit of stick to them as well. Not that there's a problem with this stick, it's just that with all foam pads sometimes they can shrink a little in the heat over time. So I'm just going to put that slightly, well I say slightly, quite a bit to the left. So I've got a nice little bit of space here. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with the deeper pad. I think I've decided I'm going to go Crafter's Companion. Yeah, so this labeler is quite good. And I do enjoy using it, but it's run out of tape at the moment, so let's put stop to that for now. And I'm quite lucky in that I've got quite a lot of storage of various types. I did invest in some storage for crafts units a couple of years ago, and Mum had one as well. So I've got quite a few of those, and the really useful boxes. And I feel like if I took everything out, put it all, you know, like that programs in the UK, we have a program with Stacey Solomon on, where they take all the stuff out the house and they do it up, and then people go into the warehouse where all the stuff is and they pick and choose what they want to go back, and then it all gets arranged back nice and tidy. And I feel like if I did that, if I took it all out and put it all, laid it all out, and then, you know, sort of sorted it into the same thing, I probably wouldn't need as much storage, because it would all be together rather than all over the place. But it's not a luxury I have, so okay, so that's on there. I'm happy with that. Again, I did put tacky glue on. So for this one I'm going to use the Sensational Christmas Sparkle as our topper, so we're going to pop this onto here. Probably want that to go about halfway, just below or just above halfway, just to give that a nice bend on our card, and a nice bit of elevation, shall I say. So I'm just going to pop 2 rows of pads on here. If I had a thicker one, I'd just do one down the middle, but rather than start a new pack, I'm just trying to keep using bits up. There again, it just helps, doesn't it, rather than having lots of little bits floating around. I'm trying to get organised. It's very hard. It's not in my nature. I don't know if you guys are the same. I think you're either one of 2 ways as a crafter. You're either super organised or you're not. And I'm definitely a not. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this down across there. Hopefully we're about in the middle. Okay, so that's where, oops, if I pop it on there you can see that's where we're at. Okay, so I've got a nice piece of blue space here, and I've also got some space here as well. So I'm going to bring in some gems. So I did find a lot of new packets of gems. I think they were Mum's. So I did find quite a few bits and pieces of Mum's while I was sorting. And I think I'm probably going to go with the red, because there's quite a bit of red on here. So I'm going to pick out those red tones. I am going to pop a little bit of tacky glue on just to give me a little bit of security for the long term. I'm going to use one big one and 2 of these medium ones. I bought these lovely new tweezers from China and I've used them once. So almost, they're there, I know they're here. Here. I knew they were close by. Let me try that the next bit. Okay, so we've got that one there, and I think I'm going to bring some over this side just to match. So just do the same again. Actually, I'm not going to do the same again. I'm going to do 2 on this side, so you know I like my odd numbers. So I'm going to go with this massive mahoosive one, and then one, oops, of these small ones. Not sure if these tweezers are helping at all, but there you go. There we are. And do I want to pop anything else on there? Flying off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just bring in some of these gems, and some green ones as well. Yeah, here. And what I'm going to do is just turn that round here, and I'm just going to pick, probably think maybe this size. Let's see if that's going to match the size on there, or is that going to be a bit bigger. Again, the beauty of this sort of arrangement. Ah, that's exactly right. Okay, so I'm just going to pick out 1 or 2 of these red ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 or 2, actually 5. And then just pop that on. And now I have to find where I put the glue. Oops. 1, 2. Put one there. And oops. Over the right way. Probably do better with my picky up tool, but there you go. That's those. Away, and then again I think it was the middle, actually with the green it's slightly different, so let's have a look, is this size going to be the right one? Let's grab picky up a tool. Let's keep that out. So we've got 5 on the red, so let's have a look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually going to cover that one up just to make it 11 and be odd. Otherwise we would have 15 on there. Although 15 is odd, isn't it? We'll do it now. Okay, so let's just go on there. Now if you wanted to, you could go with all the sort of pinky ones, find the tones to match if you've got all the beads. But I'm just going to leave it with that, just that little bit of sparkle there along with that holographic. And I hope you can, let's put it right so you can see that. And then, yeah, you can see that just flashes with that bit of sparkle at the top. So it's just something a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side to dry, and we'll get set up for number 2. Okay, so for the second card, when I was tidying out bits and pieces, I found I got quite a lot of this sort of size-ish card, which is at the moment it's just over 4.5 by 7. And these are pieces that are left over when I usually make a card from the A3. So it's just like the offcut. But what I'm going to do is just trim that down to 4.5. So what I wanted to do, if I can, was to try and use them up, because I didn't don't want to waste them. So let's just come to the bottom, and I'm just going to trim on the edges. It's just got a little bit of an overhang, which I did not like. It's got a bit fluffy on there. There we go. So that is 4.5 by 7. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a piece of this holographic that we had left over from the last card, and my usual 2 notches under that 4.5. I'll have to open that up, and 2 notches under the 7. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in this piece here from the backing, and I'm going to cut this down to 4.25. So that is there, and that's all the cutting I need to do at the moment, I think, on the trimmer. So we'll leave those bits. So these bits I might need on the next card, so we'll keep those to hand. So what I'm going to do on this one is just trim along. Shall I use my scissors or shall I use my knife? Well, we'll try with the scissors. No, we won't. We'll just go straight with the knife, because I'm a lot more reliable with the knife than I am with the actual scissors, to be honest with you. And I'm just fussy cutting around these edges and just putting a nice amount of pressure on, because I just want it to pop out. And then I'm just going across, and I think we'll keep that tree in behind as well, so all of the lovely detail going to keep. So I'm just going to move ahead and to when this is all cut out. Okay, so I've cut around the trees and the houses like you saw me doing at the start of it. And this is the bit left over, so I've trimmed it down to more or less the correct size, and then I've just popped it through a Creative Expression, a snowfall, oh, let's see what it's actually called, bear with me 2 seconds, Falling Snow. Okay, so it's just that embossing folder that I did say I bought last year and I was looking for, so it's just added that little bit of texture to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. I'm just going to, probably should put a bit of tacky glue on those edges really, just because they're a bit finer. Just put some on the corners as well. Hopefully I haven't gone a bit overkill on it there. So we're just going to pop that on to here, and because I've sort of trimmed it down to where it should be, I can still check my borders there. And what I would say is, like here where it's oozed out, I'm not going to mess about with that. I'm just going to let it dry. If I wipe it away, then it possibly could take off the actual finish, so we're just going to let that be. So I've got some more of these foam pads. Let's grab those scissors. I'm just going to pop like so. So I'm just going to give it plenty of support. And I'll put some across there. If I cut down to there, I'll use that bit there, I think that should be fine. Okay, and before I do any sticking down, I'm going to bring in the toppers, and I'm bringing this this little train one in with the little town, and I think we'll go with From Our Home to Yours. Again, just being a little bit careful getting that sentiment out. Excuse me. So for the topper itself, I'm going to go big, I think. So let's just pop this on, just make sure we can get that all on nicely. So I won't be going any higher on the topper. Probably going to pop that flat, to be honest. Right, okay. So let's pop this on first of all. Again, I'm going to go with my all-purpose, but I am just going to put a bit of tacky in the corners. I'm popping that to this top corner and just lining it up with a border neatly on this side. So then this bit, again, just taking all the backs off here. Oops, stuck to me. And last little bits. So I've ordered that, the order that I placed the other day apparently is on its way to me. So that's the gnomes. I ordered some more foam pads and something else. Oh, that dye, that confetti dye. Oh, that would have been nice with this. Now I'm wishing I'd waited, but never mind. Okay, so we're just popping that over, just lining it up with our borders. A little bit high on that side. Oops. So, come on. There we go, let's just check that. Looks okay, I'm happy with that. And then we've got our little sentiment there, and I think let's pop this on our card first of all, and then we could decide, because sometimes if you once you've put it on the card, it might look better somewhere else, but I think it's probably going to go down the bottom. I don't really want to cover up that tree, and so I think the only place that I can go is down the bottom here. I'm not going to go high because I think I've already gone quite high elsewhere, so I'm just going to go with these little 1mm ones. And obviously with this, because it's sort of not a regular size, it's going to be a case of either making a little box or making an envelope. And not hard to do if you've got an envelope maker. I say that. I've never successfully made one from an envelope maker yet. It's not the scoring. I can do the scoring. It's one that comes to gluing the sides together. Just once it's all done together, always somehow it is always a little bit on the squiff. Right, let's just put that down. And back there. I like that because that's not too high. And then we need to think about some sparkle. So there's not really any snow on there for us to glitter, although I would have loved to put a bit of glitter on. I could go around and glitter all the embossing, but I think that would be a bit too much. So I think we're probably just going to have to go with some more little gems. And I'm going to stick with the silver on this one. Just keep that silver tone going through. I've got a bit of glue in there. And I'm just going to do 3, I think. So if I grab, I'm going to go with these tweezers, shall we? Because I'm a glutton for punishment. Or I could just pick the big one up. Okay. And then quite wide spacing on this one, which is quite rare for me. Normally I go quite close together. There we go. And then the remaining bit of that insert will fit nicely in there, so I'll just cut that down later and pop that in. Oh, it's just moving a little bit. Let me just get those lined up a little bit better. Yeah, I mean so that's the card number 2, using that little bit of waste. It's not waste because we've used it. Okay, so I'm just going to get cleared down for quick card number 3. Okay, so for the last one, I've got this, it's 6x6 scalloped edge card blank. Realistically though, the size of the topper we're going to be using is 5x5. So with these scalloped ones, what I find is you have to come in quite a way, because otherwise you'll find that it sort of interferes with it later on. So if you go down about 1 inch, I usually find for myself that looks good. So let's bring in another piece of this, which is cut off from earlier from that first card, and I'm coming in at 5x5. And then if I just hold that on there, you might see what I mean. So you've got quite a nice size sort of border all the way around with that. Okay, and we'll keep those bits to the side, and then I'm going to use another piece of this piece, which is the foiled, and again I'm going to go 2 notches under the 5. Actually, I'm going to take just 1/2 inch off that top, which gives me a nice bit of a border for somewhere else. And then I'm going to go 2 notches under the 5. So otherwise it just seems like it's all going to be border at the top, and I want it to sort of balance out a little better. Okay, so that's our topper there. Let's put that to the side as well. So I've got a couple of different toppers here. I'm probably going to go with this one. I think this is going to fit the nicest. Let's have a look at this one as well. So maybe I need to go with a slightly bigger card on that one, but we'll have a look. That does look better on there. And then got this little topper, or we have got a little sentiment there. I think I'll save that for our last card. So let's bring that in. Like I say, there's not going to be too much to this at all. Let's have a look and see if I want to pop a bit of ribbon on. So I've got this red grosgrain, quite a nice dark red. Yeah, quite like that. So we'll grab a little bit of red liner tape, and I know it's going to hide some of those little holographic snowflakes, but you will have them peeking out from underneath it, which is quite a nice effect as well. If you've got like that pink, I haven't got any, just looking over now, I haven't got any pinks ribbons, so pink is not, I say it's not one of my favourite colours, but I'm wearing pink today, and generally over the last year I've been more pink than I've ever been in my life, but generally speaking throughout my whole of my life I've been more purple blue than pink red. It's funny how you sort of associate yourself with a colour rather than you know, generally just all colours, isn't it? So, okay, so I'm just going to put my ribbon right on the edge of that so that we're getting as much of those snowflakes as we can. And again on that side, I have to just loosen that pulled that a little bit too tight. There we go. And because this is contemporary, really, you could go with any of your pinks, like your sort of aquas, any of those. I mean, I have got a blue. Well, I don't think I like. I like the red. The red sort of pops a little bit. I wanted a bit of a pop. Okay. So let's go. So again, with our all-purpose glue. That's gone a bit near the edge, so let's just get rid of that. Wipe that off. And I suppose that is the benefit of this glue as well, that if you get something where you don't want it, you can to a certain extent wipe it off, especially like on the back of something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on nicely, and I think I'm going to have my card going that way up, just for a bit of strength. Yeah, so I'm going to go that way, just not moving, and again on my all-purpose, and straight on. Get a nice good press down. Okay, and then we can come in with this one. I'm going to go nice and high. Crafter's Companion with this one. I don't know if I'm overcompensating because it is the smaller topper on the sheet. Not that it's, you know, any the less. It's still beautiful, but out of all of the toppers, I thought I'd be using the bigger one. But that's not a problem. And the idea I had for my other card with that one, I now have to rethink, but that's fine. That's what happens sometimes. I am only just making 3 cards today, so I will make that last card later. Still planning to use all the kit up and then do a video showing all the cards that I've made. Still working on that first kit at the moment, so not had as much time as I hoped I would, but I will get there, and before Christmas, I promise. So this is going, we'll go about there, and then this one we're going to come in a little bit smaller in height, so wherever you, there you are. So we'll use these up, and again these are probably about 2mm, I think. Possibly 3, but definitely at least 2. Okay. So if obviously if you wanted to emboss this, your sort of snowflakes, any sort of baubles, that sort of thing would look nice in the background on here. Okay, I'm going to come off the actual card, I think, just to add a little bit of interest. I don't usually do that. And then we can decide what we're going to do about gems, I think. I don't really want to go silver. I think I'm going to go see what a white one would look like. So these little white ones still out. If I can pick one up. Determined to use these tweezers. Let's see. No, I think a bit too understated for this card, so it's going to have to be sparkles. So let's go, and I've got these ones. These ones are very pretty. These are sort of quite Aurora Borealis, as they say. So let's see, what should we do different about gems? So normally we do the 1, the 2 or the 3. I'm just going to do a couple of odd one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's just grab is go with this side because they are a bit more the multicoloured. And I'm going to grab my picky up tool. Let's learn our mistake from last time. So let's go with 2 of these. So these are very similar to the actual holographic, sort of with different colours coming in, the pinks and the greens. So just going to pop into it there. Good. Should go with one super big one in the middle. Whoa, look at the size of that one. Okay, like that. Okay, so that's the video for today. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and put a bow on, but I just kind of feel like with it being contemporary, probably doesn't need it. So we've got 3 quite different cards there. And I still have got this piece back. I've got this. I have got a sentiment, which is, what's it saying? Santa Claus is coming to town. So you've got Santa in his train. And I've got this border here as well as sort of quite decent pieces left over there as well. So plenty there to make another card with, which I will do at a later date. Probably not on screen if I'm honest with you. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Next time, coming back with this again. It's either going to be the poinsettia or the swans, because I like both of those. But we'll see where we get to. And that should be back in a couple of days' time as usual. So all being well. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. You've been amazing, you guys. I really do love the comments that you leave for me, and interacting with you is probably because I don't usually leave the house with my anxiety and things. So talking to you guys is probably, besides talking to my sister, my 2 sisters, you're probably the only people that I speak to on a sort of daily basis. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, enough of that. Got all serious for a second. So we'll see you next time again with Hunky Dory. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.